Hey everyone, so these are the Chapter 3 Medisoft V19 exercise demonstrations. So there are quite a few exercises in Chapter 3 that we're going to go through, including the 3 applying your skills exercises that you are required to do in order to not mess anything up for future exercises in the forthcoming chapters. So let me get this loaded up here, and here we go. So 3-1, we're going to click with the Start button. Let me scroll down here, click on the Start button. We're going to click All Programs. Oops, let me get that out of here. We're going to click Medisoft. We are going to click Medisoft Advanced. And then we're going to scroll back up here to the top and click on the Appointment Book Shortcut button. And that's going to open up our appointment book. So we're going to drop down the arrow here in the provider box. We're going to click this drop down arrow and look for 2, which is John Rudner. And so then we're going to scroll down here to get down to 4:30 p.m. and then we double click in the 4:30 slot. So to bring a patient into context, we are going to click in the chart field, and we're going to click on the scroll bar over here and scroll down until we get to Leela Patterson. And then we're going to press the Tab button through the remainder of the fields. When we get to the length of the appointment, we're going to click up once to make the appointment 30 minutes long. And then that's all we need to do for Leila's appointment. And so we click Save. And that is it for 3-1. Okay, for 3-2, we are going to start with the drop-down provider field menu. So we're going to click here. We're going to find Catherine Yan, which is number 1. And then we are going to click, let me move this up past that canvas thing right here. We're going to click the left arrow next to the month. Move this up. We're going to click on the 1st. And then we're going to double click on this 9:45 a.m. time slot. So we're going to click in the chart field. We're going to bring up Jones Elizabeth. So we're going to bring up Jones Elizabeth. We're going to press Tab. But we need to increase the length of her appointment from 15 to 30 minutes. So we're going to click that up one time. The rest of it looks good. It matches up to the screens in the textbook. So we're going to click Save. And that is it for 3-2. Okay, 3-3, looking up patients, we are going to click List menu. Then we're going to find Patient List. We're going to go over here. We're going to type F in that search box, and we are looking for John Fitzwilliams. So we'll double click that, and that brings John. That brings John's information up. So we're going to click the Other Information tab. And we're going to look through there. If there's nothing we need there, we'll click the Cancel button for the directions. And then we're done there, so we're going to click the Close button. Okay, so we're going to click the down arrow in the provider field. And then we're going to click John Rudner again. We're going to double click the 11 a.m. time slot, and in the chart field we are going to use the scroll bar again to get down to John Fitzwilliams. Here we have John. It's illuminated, so we're going to tab. He only needs 15 minutes per the directions in the book, and so we are going to click Save. So John is now scheduled for 15 minutes. Okay, exercise 3-4 is booking an appointment with a follow-up. So we start with clicking the right arrow next to the month. We click on the 13th. We double click the 12:15 time slot. And then we're going to click in the chart field. We're going to scroll down until we find Smith James. We're going to tab, and then he needs a 30-minute appointment. And then once we've got his appointment put in, we're going to click Save. And then we click the Go to a Date shortcut button to schedule his follow-up. And so in the weeks box, we're going to click 2 because his follow-up appointment should be in 2 weeks. And then we click Go, and that's going to take us to 2 weeks from today. Sorry, somebody walked my house. My dogs are barking. Okay, I think they're calmed down now. So we're going to click in the 12:15 time slot, click in the chart field again, and then scroll down using that scroll bar, find James Smith again. Press the tab. He only needs a 15-minute follow-up appointment, so we're good there. Then we can click Save. So now James' follow-up is scheduled also. Okay, so exercise 3-5 is searching for open times. So let me get this open here. So we start by clicking in the provider field, and then we're going to click Catherine Yan. We're going to click on the 8th. And then click the Edit menu. Click Find Open Time. We're going to click 30 in the length, and then 11 in the start time box, and 2 in the end time box. Click on the Tuesday checkbox and then search. So double click in the 11 o'clock time. Click in the chart field and scroll down to find Maritza Ramos. Put 30 in here. Save that. And Maritza Ramos is all scheduled now. Okay, 3-6 is searching for an open time. So we start by clicking the drop-down menu in the provider field. And we go to John Redner. Click the Edit menu. Find open time again. And in the length box, we're going to type 30. Oh, let me scroll down here. We're going to type 30, and then hit Tab. And start time, we're going to put 3, and then we're going to click on AM and change that to PM. We're going to click Tab, and we're going to put 5, and tab over to Monday, and then click search. We're going to look at 3 o'clock. And chart. Let's scroll down until we find Randall Klein. Tab, put 30 minutes in for his appointment, and save that. And then Randall Klein is all scheduled also. Okay, exercise 3.7 is entering a new patient appointment. And so we start with the drop-down arrow in the provider field. And we click Catherine Yan. We go to the next month arrow. And then we're going to click on the first here. That takes us to the October 1st scheduling column, and we're going to go down and find the 3 p.m. time slot. Double click there. In the blank box, we click there and we type Tanaka, comma, Hiro. We're going to type his phone number, which is 614-555-7373. If you're looking for this information is in the source documents at the back of the book. So you can find this stuff back there. So his cell phone is 614-555-0162. Oh, 555-0162. There we go. And we're going to type 30 minutes in for the length of his appointment and save Hiro's appointment. So Hiro Tanaka now has an appointment. And that is it for 3.7. Alright, so 3.8 is your booking repeat appointments. We're going to start with the arrow to the right of the month. It takes us into November. We're going to click on the 14th. And click on the scroll bar. And we're going to click on the 8 a.m. time slot. We're going to click in the chart field and find Joe Wong. Down here we need to click the change button, and we're going to click the weekly radio button, and the end on field we are going to type 12192018 for 12/19/2018, and then we click OK and save. And then we're going to go click the arrow to the right of the month, click on the 19th, click on the 26th, and we're good. So that's it for 3.8. Okay, 3.9 is rescheduling appointments. So we start with clicking the arrow to the left of the month, and we click on the 8th. You right click on John Gardner's 9 a.m. appointment. Scroll down, we're going to click cut. We go and click on the 16th, and we're going to paste that by right clicking on the 9:15 a.m. time slot there. We're going to click paste, and so we're going to paste his appointment in there. We go up here to the drop down arrow, click Jessica Rudner, and we scroll down to the 3 p.m. time slot, and we click that 3. 3 p.m. we click on Janine, we go back up here, click the edit menu. We're going to click cut, and we're going to move her down here to the 4 p.m. time slot. Go back up to the edit menu, click paste, and we've moved our appointments around. So that is it for 3/9. So for 3/10, it's verifying a patient's eligibility. We start with clicking the drop-down arrow in the provider field, and we're going to pick 2, which is John Rudner. We're going to click the left arrow next to month and select the 1st for the date. We're going to right-click on John Fitzwater's appointment and click on Eligibility Verification. From there, we're going to click Verify, and a little pop-up box will come, and we'll click Verify again. And then it will build his eligibility information for his insurance, and then you can click anywhere to continue from there. So once that happens, you can click OK. And then a preview box will pop up, a preview window will pop up with his insurance information and his eligibility information. So you can close out of that. And so then we have his insurance eligibility verified here. We know that it's complete, his insurance is active, and it has been verified. So then we can close out of that. And then you'll see that there's a little green flag next to John Fitzwilliam's name there now that his insurance eligibility has been completed. So then he is good to go. And that is the end of John's insurance verification. Well, let's get out of here. We'll go on over to checking in a patient, which is 311. And 311, we start with that provider drop-down menu. And we're going to click number 2, which is John Rudner again. We're going to change the date. Click on the 1st. Right-click on John Fitzwilliams again. And then we're going to scroll down and check him in. And that's how you check patients in. So pretty easy. Not bad. Let's get out of there. Okay, so 312 is creating an overdue balance report. So let me load this here. And we start with clicking the minimize button here. We're going to go to the reports menu. We are going to go down all the way to the bottom and click on the Medisoft Reports button. Let me scroll down so you can see this. So we're going to click on the plus, double click on the plus pack, which opens up all these other types of reports. And so we are going to double click on appointment list with remainder balance for the patient. On the very first date box, we want to type 11012018 for 11/1/2018, and then on the second box we want to type 11/30/2018, so 113/2018, and then you click the OK button. And what that does is brings up a the report that you had requested, and so it basically shows all of the balances owed by the patient. So we know that Elizabeth Jones owes $28.64, that Maritza Ramos doesn't have a balance, that Joe Wong owes $14.94, and Joe Wong owes $14.94 for a number of encounters for November 14th, for November 16th. She doesn't owe anything, but she owes for, oh, that's John Gardner, that's why. She also owes for November 21st and November 28th. So you can see how that kind of works for those dates. It shows who owes what for those dates. So you can click over to see the next page button. There's Layla Patterson doesn't have anything. James Smith actually has -10, and so on both of his encounters during that date range. So you can just kind of keep clicking through until you've reviewed all of those items, and then we click close. Once we're done with our reports, we can close out of that. And then down at the bottom, you can click the office hours button on the status bar, and you're back to where you kind of started out in the scheduler. So that's it for 312. For 313, we are adding a patient to the recall list. So we're going to start with the patient recall shortcut button. Down at the bottom, we're going to click New, and the date. We're going to type 11/12/2019, and the provider, it should be John Rudner, and in the chart field we want to pull up our F patients so that we can find John Fitzwilliams. And in the procedure field, we're going to type 99396, which is the preventative established patient, 40 to 64 years old. And so we click on that. And then we click Save. And then we are good to go. So we can close that, and that is that for 313. 314 is entering a provider break. So let's check out how to do that. We're going to go to the drop down arrow in the provider field. We're going to click on Jessica Rudner and click on the right of the month. Sorry, my dogs are barking again. So click of the arrow to the right of the month again, so we get to December, and we're going to click on December 10th. So then we click in the 10 a.m. Time slot, and then click the new break shortcut button, and we're going to type ACA update seminar. I'm going to click here and type 120 to make it 2 hours blocked off there. And then the resource, we're going to click down, click on seminar break, change to daily, and end on, make the date 12/12/2018, click OK, and then click Save, and then click the 11th, and click on the 12th, and we are good with 314. 315 is the last of the exercises before we start the applying your skills exercises. So for 315, it is viewing a provider's schedule. So we start by clicking on the reports menu, and we click on the appointment list. We're going to click the start button. We're going to click on that first dates field. And we're going to type 10/1/2018, tab over to the next box, and type 10/1/2018 again. Click the drop down arrow here and select Catherine Yan. And then drop down arrow again, Catherine Yan. Click OK. And then it brings up this report here for Catherine Yan for her appointments for the day. So once you have viewed that, then you can click Close. And that is the end of that on how to view a provider schedule. So that's it for 315. We will do the applying your skills exercises. So you have to do those in order to prevent errors in future exercises in the forthcoming chapters. Alright, so let me get this started. So we're going to start with clicking the arrow to the left of the month and click it again so that we can go back to October. We're going to click on the 1st, so that we're working on October 1st, 2018. And then we're going to go down here, double click on the 2 p.m. time slot. And we're going to click in the field over here, and we are going to type in, right, Lisa. And we're going to hit tab. We're going to type 615-555-7059. Again, you can find this information in the source documents in the back of the chapter. So 614-505-1397. And in the length, we're going to change that to 30 minutes. And then we're going to click on the Save button. And that is it for the Applying Your Skills 1. So let's get rid of this guy. Applying Your Skills 2 is searching for an open time. So again, we're going to start with a drop-down menu. We're going to click on John Redner, which is number 2. We're going to click the arrow to the right of the month, which is going to take us in November, and we're going to pick November 12th to work with. We're going to click Edit and find Open Time. Let me scroll down so you can see this. On the length, we need to look for an hour-long appointment, so we're going to type 60 there. We're going to tab, and we're going to type 4 here, and PM there, and we're going to click on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're going to click the Saturday box too. And let's click on search. That gives us this 4 p.m. time slot here. And so in the chart field, we're going to find Herbert Bell. And we're going to type 60 minutes in here for his appointment length, and then save that. And then we are done with the Applying Your Skills 2. So then we just have the Applying Your Skills 3 left, and let me get out of here. We'll go over to the 3rd one. And then this is the last exercise of this very long chapter. Alright, so we start with the Reports menu. And then we go to Appointment List. We're going to click the Start button. In the pop-up box there, We're going to click in that first date field and type 11/13/2018. We're going to tab over and then again 11/13/2018. Use the drop down arrow to click the provider, which is number 2, John Rudner. Same thing, number 2, John Rudner, and we're going to click OK. So then that shows us that John Rudner's schedule here is for Tuesday, November 13th. He has a patient at 12:15, James Smith, and a patient at 4 p.m. that we just scheduled in, Herbert Bell. So that is how you schedule, or excuse me, preview a provider or a physician schedule. So once you have seen the schedule, you can close out of that, and that is the end of all of the Chapter 3 Medisoft activities.